Viewer discretion is advised. This case sounds like a deranged horror movie. I cannot believe I didn't know about this guy.
Okay.
He's pretty famous. I'm sure, like, y'all have probably heard of him. Most of our listeners have heard of him.
I think I know who you're talking about.
In true Amanda fashion, walk with me as I discover a monster that everyone else already knew about, but I somehow have worked in true crime for 5 years and I didn't know about this person. Here we go. Harvey Murray Glatman was born December 10th, 1927, 10 years AH after Helen. He's a Sagittarius, was a Sagittarius. He was born in the Bronx, but his family moved to Denver, Colorado when he was still really young, like a toddler. So he essentially grew up in Denver.
Okay.
From childhood, something with Harvey was off.
Not right.
All kids explore their genitals as part of growing up.
Oh,
And
Not where I thought this
no one is-
sentence was going to go.
some
no one is
with a
shaming
Barbie.
this. Well, yeah.
A Barbie leg.
But Harvey
Whatever
seemed to enjoy mutilating his genitals from a young age.
His
His own?
Yeah. Like he would be discovered wrapping a piece of string like super tightly around his penis and then like tugging it off over and over again to achieve arousal.
But like hurting it, obviously. His penis is the same time.
I think it would hurt. The way that it was described,
That would
it
hurt
seems like
the
it
skin.
would hurt. Yeah.
So now he's equating pain and sexual arousal at an early age. Cool.
Right. And when he was 12, he was caught by his mother in their bathtub, like an empty bathtub, experimenting with autoerotic asphyxiation, where he had like fed rope like through the drain and back up to make like a pulley system so that one side was around his neck and then he could like tug at it to choke himself.
At what age?
While masturbating.
12 while masturbating.
How would you how would that even like occur to you if you...
I don't know. Kids get boners really young. Then you start. I don't know what he must have experienced to try this.
Yeah,
He's a blossoming plumber.
Was he
I
abused?
don't know.
Is there any evidence of that or just...
There's nothing that I could find.
Wow.
It's very odd. And obviously, autoerotic asphyxiation can be very dangerous for like a careful adult, but for a child,
Dangerous.
Yeah.
that
Who
is-
doesn't know when to stop.
Right. So his parents were understandably concerned and brought him to see a pediatrician about it, but it was the 50s. And they were
God.
like, this
Not
is a
even.
phase. He was born, oh, sorry, not even yeah, you're right, not the 50s. Like the 30s when he did this. So his
So
doctor was
No one
like-
was understanding about it.
Well, no, his doctor's like, he's going to grow out of it. I don't know.
Freud
So-
says this is totally normal.
Yeah, it's the anal phase. Quote, it seems like I always had a piece of rope in my hands when I was a kid, Harvey would later recall. I guess I was just kind of fascinated by rope.
Okay.
As a teen.
He's a ropist.
Mhm. Yes, and
Oh, no.
as a teen, he seemed to move on somewhat from his fascination with rope, temporarily, but only to replace it with a new thrill, breaking and entering.
Yep. Nope. Mm-mm.
Cool.
Yep.
Excellent combination.
We know where this is going. Abso-fucking-lutely not.
Yeah, we know exactly where this is going. He specifically targeted young women's apartments where he could find and steal lingerie and other trinkets from their homes.
If this happens to you, not that it's gonna, I mean, not that the police are gonna help, but you have to report it, make a record of it, and change all your security measures. Because this is how it fucking starts and it escalates, and these people...
Wouldn't it be nice if the cops took shit like this seriously?
Yeah, that would be nice.
This is a fucking... This is like a clear map to serial murderer.
Yeah, it's a
Everything
roadmap.
that's happening here. Yeah, it is the haunted road atlas
Yeah.
to serial
Shout out.
murder. Shout out, and that's why we drink.
Yeah.
So in one instance, he found a gun and pocketed it, breaking into somebody's house. And the breaking and entering and like stealing, all that thrill satisfied him sexually for a time. But as we know, eventually the thrill wears off and behavior escalates. Simply breaking into women's apartments was no longer arousing for him. Now he wanted to interact with his victims as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he started stalking young women, and soon he was committing sexual assault against them. Though he was arrested on a first-degree robbery charge in November of 1945, he was not charged with assault and only served a month in jail.
Oh.
We've discussed this so much, but like our justice system can seriously embolden predators by not enforcing consequences. And
He's
we see
a really
this,
good swimmer.
And we see this super often with privileged white men and boys. And this guy is like an unassuming white guy. So this, like, going to jail for a hot second and then just being let out was a common routine for Harvey, who was arrested again at the age of 18 while he was still in high school for tying up one of his classmates at gunpoint and molesting her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, went to jail for like a couple weeks, maybe a month.
Oh
Jesus
my God.
Christ.
He continued to rob and sexually assault women for years, often being arrested and serving short stints in prison. Around this time, 1945 or 1946, when he was like arrested a couple times, Harvey made his way from Colorado back to New York. This is after high school, and this is at the suggestion of his mother, who helped him secure a job as a TV repairman. He had like been learning this skill while in and out of jail and prison.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had like this trade, and
so
she helped him get an apartment.
Send him into people's homes.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my God. Like, I realized that like his mom
She was trying to help.
trying to help her son, but like
Fucking yikes.
No.
Hard no.
Oh,
She obviously knew that he was committing these crimes because he was going to jail.
Yep.
Repeatedly.
Over and over again. So this move to New York.
Oh my God.
Oh, it gets so much worse. This is nothing. This
Don't
move
chuckle when you say that.
the chuckle is out of pure
Fear.
nerves and fear.
Yeah.
So this move to New York seemed like a fresh start for him, but now he's on his own. He's not under strict supervision, and he gets back to his
He's
old
in
tricks.
a giant city where he's anonymous.
Yep.
Has a cloak of anonymity and literally is welcomed into strangers' homes.
Oh my God.
I mean, that won't play out that strongly here, but it's still really creepy.
Mhm.
So True Crime Edition gives a very succinct rundown of this, of his time in New York. So I'm just going to read it for you because there would be no point in me trying to sum it up. Quote, on the 17th of August, 1946, Harvey Glatman attacked Thomas Starro and Doris Thorne while they were all out walking. Just walking down the street, just taking a walk. He tied up Thomas with rope that he just brought with him because he wanted to be prepared at any moment.
He always had rope.
His security.
He always had
comfort
rope. Just carried it around.
What's it called? His security item? His
Transitional object.
His transitional object. Rope.
Yep.
Rope.
So he
To
tied
be
up.
fair, my sister's baby blanket is basically a piece of rope at this
This
point.
is not even close to a to be fair though comparison.
Okay.
To draw from a torn baby blanket to I'm gonna put
she
rope
sleeps
in
with
my
a rope.
pocket
In case
so
I
I
need
can
it.
tie someone up. So he tied up Thomas so that he could rape Doris while aiming a toy gun at her.
Oh. But
Or
it
at
looks
least-
like a real one?
Yeah. So he's like trying to assault her. He didn't succeed because Thomas managed to free himself from the bindings and attacked Glatman, who was otherwise occupied with Doris. Glatman managed to twist free from Thomas's grip and cut him with a penknife that he was carrying. The cut made Thomas run because he didn't want to get stabbed to death, and Glatman ran after him. Didn't run after him, ran, like there was such a commotion that, Glatman flees, finds himself on a train to Albany, New York. And a few days later, on the 22nd of August, now in Albany, he attacks a woman named Florence Hayden. She's a nurse. He pushed her into like a grassy yard as she's just walking down Main Avenue in Albany. He's just like out in public doing this shit. Told her to stay quiet as he pointed the toy gun at her while he tied her up with the rope that he had in his pocket. She realized that he wasn't holding the gun anymore, so she screamed and pushed him away from her.
Go Florence.
Yeah, thank God. Florence Hayden escaped unharmed and went to the police, telling them that her assailant looked more frightened than she was. Which, if you look at pictures
he's
of
learning
him,
how to attack people. He was like, okay, I can't do 2 people at once.
right. And he's like 20, like not even at this point. So he's basically, he's still like this young idiot.
Oh, yeah, he is young. Ew.
Who is just like a super nerd. Like nobody suspects him.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing all this, like, strictly on impulse. He's not really thinking it or planning it out
in the
well.
beginning, but he gets plenty of time to plan later on, and we'll get to it.
He's working out the kinks of his
MO.
method. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so creepy.
Yep. So she goes to the police. Obviously, they don't do shit. The next night, he approaches 2 women in Albany to fulfill his urges. He planned to attack them both, but as he reached them, he lost his confidence. He instead demanded they give them their money while he waved his toy gun at them. The women, Evelyn Burge and Beverly Goldstein, handed over their purses and he ran off, mumbling to himself. 2 days later, Harvey Glatman was arrested. He was in the process of following his next victim when he was apprehended carrying the toy gun, the rope, and a pocket knife. Once captured, he immediately confessed to his crimes, but was like, I think he made it seem more like armed robbery than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But he's finally arrested. He's sentenced to between 5 and 10 years in prison. But he would only serve 3 before being paroled in 1948, despite being diagnosed a psychopath while in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I'm not saying that anyone with a stigmatized mental health diagnosis should be locked up forever. Absolutely not.
No.
But I am wary of a repeat offender who receives a diagnosis of this magnitude while in prison
with
being
no
paroled
treatment
after only 3 years of a potential 10-year sentence for a rapid string of heinous and violent crimes.
Mm-hmm. And escalating.
3 years. That's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no referral, no treatment, no nothing.
Nope. So he's out. He's paroled, and once the strict rules of his parole lift, Harvey was able to leave the state and made his way to Los Angeles in 1957. This was a purely intentional move to broaden his pool of victims. Though his record was, on the quiet side while he was on parole, he was most certainly plotting how he could get back into the swing of his predatory behavior.
I'm sure he was stalking the shit out of people that whole time.
I'm sure.
Learning knots and shit.
His move to LA opened up a whole new world of targets, and he disguised himself as someone in the industry in order to access vulnerable young women.
Oh my God, like the casting couch thing?
Not really the casting couch, but he went to Hollywood and pretended to be a photographer.
Okay.
So he started out by affiliating himself with modeling agencies, posing as a photographer, targeting young women who were struggling in their careers, getting their contact information, because a modeling agency just is going to trust. There's no internet. This white man with a camera comes in and is like, I'm a photographer. I'm looking to hire blah, blah, blah for blah, blah, blah.
That's
and they're
how
like,
it
oh,
works.
here's a list. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Getting their contact information and offering them modeling jobs with low-level, like, pulp and smut magazines and, like, romance novels, like, just shit that's easy to lie about. And easy to get them into compromising positions because it's for this
Yeah, here's
smut.
your character. Your character is tied up girl.
I mean, literally, though.
Ew.
And we'll get to it. It's nuts. Well, I sure hope you liked that clip. If you did like that clip, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel, leaving us a nice review, and joining us on Patreon for even more video content, audio content, salacious content all around. Come join us. Treat yourself.